6 review of the franchise league. First, let's start with the matchups.
Aren't you going to comment on your sellout t-shirt you're wearing?
I will wear baseball-themed shirts for all the videos. This is one of my old-timers league shirts. So there's many more to come. Just wait. Is that a good answer for you? Is that good enough?
It'll have to do for now.
Okay. All right. So Bear Bashers with a 9-8 squeaker over Murderers Row. And to be honest, my team was terrible, horrific, perhaps the worst it's been.
Awful stats around the league in general, except for basically 2 teams.
Yeah, if I actually looked at any matchups, I think the closest one I would have had was 10-6. If I played anybody else in the league, a 10-6 loss.
So you were very bad.
Yes.
But you still won.
Right, and I'm not going to use the L word, as in I was lucky. I'm going to say I was fortunate. No, you don't like that? Well, here's the way I look at it. Remember the week that you and I played each other?
Correct.
We would have sandblasted everybody else.
Right.
Right?
That happens.
But we didn't because we were playing each other.
That's all that matters is the matchup with who you're playing.
Exactly. It's cyclical, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
It's sick?
No, well, it's not. Well, it was sick how good our teams were, but
True.
yeah.
True.
Okay. But yeah, I had a 5.93 ERA for the week.
Congratulations. That probably actually won you the category.
It won the category. It won the ERA with 5.93. Globo Jim's favorite player, Jonathan Villar, had a good week for Murderers Row. He hit 381, had 1 homer, 5 RBIs. And
Well, it sounds like that could be someone that could start to carry Murderers Row's team if he starts to improve.
We'll have to talk about that later on. So the next matchup we have, Zips with the upset 8-5 win over thee.
I agree with that statement completely. I am still very upset from the performance of Team V. It was not good.
There were lots of close categories. Greinke haunting his former team with an amazing 11 strikeout, 0.25 whip for the start.
As of now, he looks like the Greinke from 2 years ago, and
He
not
does.
like the bum that I thought I was getting rid of.
Yeah, I actually thought it was interesting that Trout still had an amazing second half of the week despite being hurt the whole first half of the week. Did you notice that?
You're amazed or surprised whenever the best player in baseball does what he's supposed to do when he
No,
plays?
let me put it to you this way. I'm just surprised that you still lost considering how good Trout was in that second half of the week.
Well, think about it. I only had him for half the week.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's true.
I would like to point out, since we're going to continue to talk about things that we already talk about, and I thought it was interesting that you left this out. I mean, this is also the first matchup since the horrendous trade that Zips and I made, which was Daniel Murphy for Michael Conforto.
Yeah, it's still a bad trade.
My farm's... Oh, it's still a bad trade?
It's still a bad trade.
Yeah, Daniel Murphy, who hit 158 for me this matchup.
Oh, come on now.
Against Michael Conforto, who hit 381 with 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 8 runs, 2 singles, 3 doubles, a triple, and an OBP of 450.
Wow.
Now let's flip those stats. Do you think I lose?
I don't know, do you?
No, not even close. It's a blowout.
Well, all I can say is you have to wait until the end of the season to analyze that trade. Because I still think when it's all said and done, it's going to be
I'm still going to disagree with you guys on that.
Okay. Next, Globo Gym with the rare 10-2 win. You don't see many 10-2 wins, do you?
No.
Over Alaska's melting glaciers. Yeah, kind of fading a little bit. Lots of close categories. Great offensive week from Alaska Glaciers, but you know when you pitch to a 5.55 ERA and a 1.44 WHIP, I can't feel sorry for his team.
Like you mentioned, both teams offensively probably would have annihilated the rest of the league with their offensive stats that they had.
Offensively, yes, but both
their pitching staffs,
Right.
their names right now, but they're not putting up anything close. I had Mookie.
Yeah, Mookie was lava hot.
Mookie. Don't forget the Mets, Mookie. And he had 8 runs, 2 singles, 4 doubles, 3 homers, 11 RBIs.
Yep.
A stolen base. He hit 335 and a 480 OBP. He was my MVP for the matchup.
Yeah. My MVP for Alaska Glaciers was Bregman because he hit 217 for the week.
Just throwing that out there since you got rid of him.
Just kidding. Okay. Next, Five Swords with a 9-5 win over Ben's Champions.
Here's a question for you. When you call yourself champions, can we still let him call himself that? Yes, he does have 5 championships.
Yes.
But are you really champions if you don't make the playoffs? Are you really champions if you're losing a lot than you're winning?
Yeah, I
mean, it's just a team name, but
it's true. Five Swords had a 307 batting average with 41 RBIs for the week. Very, very good offensive week for Five Swords. Ben's Champions only hit 230 for the week.
I bet he won home runs though.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I don't have that in my notes.
The pitching categories were actually close. Well, except for the 2 that Ben's Champions never tries to win. So, I mean, once again, free points. I'm sure Five Swords was very happy for that. And, if you're Ben's Champions, when do you hit the panic button?
Yeah.
Especially when this is the time of the year, as he likes to say, where he doesn't pay attention to fantasy baseball.
Yeah, that's what he says. We'll see. Big week out of DJ LeMahieu. 3 multi-hit games.
Wow.
And they were all on the weekend. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, that does help.
Yep.
The weekends count too.
Ben 1 stolen bases despite no steals from Billy Hamilton, at least in his lineup. I can't look at these teams and say who played what day, but for the entire week he had no stolen bases on Ben's Champions.
Wow.
Yeah. But he still won like 5-4, I think, something like that.
Well, I mean, that could be a strategy.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at the matchup for that category,
Right.
but you don't know if Nunez stole like 2 or 3 bases on the first 2 days and Ben's Champions decided, I'm just going to hit home runs all week.
Yeah, that's true. So, our last matchup, a 9-5 win for Team Joe Boo over Ski Round Top.
Ski Round Top?
Is that not what it is?
It's Pine Tree Lane.
Oh, okay. Pine Tree Lane. Another week at 316 of team batting average.
It's scary. His team is scary.
3 weeks in a row, he has hit over 300 for the week.
I'm going to continue to beat this drum. Offensively, one of the best lineups in the league, hands down. I don't care about Globo Gym. I don't care about Alaska Glaciers. Up and down, one of, if not the best lineup. Up and down.
Yes. Pitching is still pretty poor, though.
Unfortunately, this is a 9x9, so you do need pitching categories, correct?
For Pine Tree Lane, Correa and Votto are really heating up, but on the flip side, Zimmerman really cooled off. He got super cold last
You
week.
should have traded him when he was hot.
That's yeah. Hernan Perez, with the other injuries there in Milwaukee, he's going to get full-time playing. Like, he's going to be in the lineup all the time. And he's hitting 3rd in the lineup when he's there. Did you know that? That's probably because Braun's out.
Right. Interesting that they didn't bump Shaw up to 3rd.
Yeah, we'd have to talk to Globo Jim and have his people talk to
They
him.
don't want to go lefty-lefty. That would be my guess. They want to have that
because
rating.
Thames is still batting in the number 2 slot.
I had, Dickerson I had as the stud for Team Joe Boo.
Yeah, he did have good numbers. I
6
remember
runs, 8 singles, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 522 on base percentage.
that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's got guys that do a lot.
Yeah, so at this point, all the matchups have been talked about. The longest winning streak is Bear Batcher's 5 consecutive wins.
I will also like to comment that you only come up with trivia or statistics when it involves Bear Bashers. So
Not
no
true.
surprise here.
Not true. The longest losing streak is Murderer's Row. He has lost all 6 weeks. All 6 weeks.
He hasn't won a matchup.
No. All 6 weeks he has lost.
Well, luckily for him, we don't just play by wins and losses.
Right.
It is by categories. So.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. I'm just
Correct.
But
although statistically in the history of the league, you need to have over a 500 win-loss record against your opponents to make the playoffs. Like if we just did like 1 win, 1 loss.
Right. We've had a few under 500 teams.
That's
in the
by
playoffs,
categories. Right? By categories.
Oh,
I'm talking
that's
about your
interesting.
head-to-head win or loss.
Okay.
You do need to. You can't. I've never seen someone statistically lose every matchup and still make the playoffs.
Right.
It could happen,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So that'll take us into our ads and drops for the week. Okay, what do you have first? Let's go with you.
I had Neftali Feliz
For drop or ad?
for an ad,
Okay.
and then he pitched. So it's kind of a tweener. I thought it was a great pickup at the time by Bear Bashers,
Yeah.
and he continued to keep pitching bad.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, honestly, it actually won me saves for the week though, because he did get saves. He didn't pitch great, obviously, but he was getting saves while he was pitching.
that makes it a good ad. You got saves out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it was. I didn't have it on the list because I didn't really think it was good or bad. Because obviously,
Well, if it won you a category, isn't that
Well,
considered good?
I guess.
Would
I
you have
guess.
won saves without him?
Well, okay. Let's start with. Let's go this way. I had honestly the most important ad for the week was AJ Griffin for me because it got the complete game shutout. That's 2 categories right there.
I would agree with that.
I couldn't find another ad that I saw that looked like it made a huge difference on the matchup. There isn't probably. There is a couple other ads that are probably good for the long haul, but for this week, they didn't really contribute that
Well,
much.
we both discussed earlier the potential great ad that there could have been with the first guy on your list,
Yes. Outen out here.
Aaron.
Aaron out here.
And he did go 6 for 16 with 5 runs, a double, 4 homers, and 8 RBIs in real life.
Yes. But he was only 286, 1 home run, 1 RBI in Globo Gym's lineup.
So again, this goes back to the bench champions theory. It doesn't matter if you have guys,
Yes.
if they don't play in your lineup, those stats don't mean anything.
But probably in the long run, it'll probably be the best pickup for the long.
Yes, if we did a pickup of the year, I think that could definitely turn out to be the pickup of the year.
Yeah, we might address that in the halfway point.
Yes.
We'll look at that.
The only other thing I had was, and because it's that time of year with injuries and everyone is churning, I had Kendall Graveman was picked up for a churning start, and he pitched like 6 innings and his typical 2 runs, 4 strikeouts type thing. But I mean, those are all great stats when you're trying to keep your ERA low.
Now, you mentioned Ben's champions.
Yes, we always mention the bench
We
champions.
did. Bautista was the pickup. You'd have to say it was a poor drop from Globo Gym because basically as soon as he dropped him, he went off. Did you notice that?
The drop has to be considered at the time of the drop,
Right.
not after the fact,
Okay. That's fine.
in my opinion.
Right. But the issue with Ben's Champions as to why he doesn't get too much credit for that is that Bautista in Ben's Champions lineup had no average, no hits. But he had 3 home runs and 6 RBIs for the week.
So he didn't play him.
Exactly.
Is what you're trying to say.
Well, he did play him once and he didn't get a hit the day he played him, I believe is the
So he
way.
played him once, didn't get a hit, and said, "Well, I'll just wait."
Maybe.
Okay.
Again, I can't look at every single day of
Right.
a matchup. I can
Right.
only look at the total week, and for the week he had.
Ben's Champions team is also a hard roster to look at because you're looking at 22 hitters.
Well, that's true, but again, it could be a really bad drop in the long run for Globo. It could be a really good pickup in the future for Ben's Champions. But for this week, it didn't really do much because Bautista didn't play for him.
Right.
And another one that I have here, I think Broxton's going to be a big pickup for you. You picked up Broxton. I mean, he didn't do much in the matchup. He had 250, 1 homer, 2 RBIs. But he's going to steal bases. Like, that's going to happen.
I hope so.
So, in a market where steals are so hard to come by, I think it's a big pickup for you.
Interesting. So then, would he also make the drop list then? Since he was such a great pickup. Who dropped him?
Well, I dropped him probably like 4 weeks ago. That was a long time ago.
Oh.
But I mean, it could be a really bad drop. I don't know. I mean, he was so bad early in the year. I just couldn't screw around with him. So I don't know. But another one here is Pilar. Now that was dropped by Joe Boo, and Joe Boo has kind of
That was a churning move. That was like a Monday. Thursday
Yeah,
type
and
thing.
I think I remember looking that Jobu owned him a few times. This wasn't even the first time he's
That's
had
one of
him.
his guys that he likes to pick up on Mondays and Thursdays.
Right.
No more. No more, sir.
Yeah, because Murderers Row picked him up on Sunday, and picked him up Saturday for Sunday. He actually hit a home run in Murderers Row's lineup on Sunday. I don't
pickup.
think Murderers Row is going to drop him either. So
Well, he is what? Ranked in the top 100, correct?
he was the 51st ranked player as of 2 days ago.
And
when
he's
I did
sitting
this.
in free agency.
Yeah. So yeah, he needs to be owned. There's no getting around it at this point.
I agree with that.
So let's see here. The trades for the week.
Who's your drops?
Oh, who's my?
I mean, we kind of went
Well,
wishy-washy
yeah.
back and forth. Who
Like
would
I
be
said-
your drop then?
I would say Bautista would be the drop. Do you have someone else?
See, I was kind of going to lean back towards Feliz again. Why are you dropping a guy that was still a closer at the time? At the time of the drop, he was still technically the closer.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically that was a bad drop at that time because
Right.
he did manage 3 saves in my lineup for the week.
I think that's got to be the drop of the week.
But honestly, I think that's why he was overused in that week.
Correct.
He had a ton of innings in that. I think that's part of the reason why he wasn't effective.
Well,
And he lost his job.
And I was going to say he's since been demoted.
I wonder. I know this is going to sound conspiracy theory, but you wonder if a manager was like, "Hey, I think my 8th inning guy has better stuff than my 9th inning guy. If I run my 9th inning guy out there every day, then I'll have an excuse to swap roles." Just wonder. I mean, it's conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that's true, but it was amazing that he threw 4 out of 5 days. How many guys do you see throw 4 out of 5 days? Not many.
No.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, you good with the ads and drops?
Yeah, that
You
sounds good.
Okay. Trades.
Ooh, I did not write this down, so this is always one of my favorite parts because I always forget about the trades. Go ahead.
We have Villar to Ben's Champions for Sanchez to Murderers Row.
That would be
I said that.
Aaron
Aaron Sanchez. That is correct.
Sanchez from Toronto.
I can tell from some of the wrath on the text thread that there are certain people that don't like this trade. I find it even to me. You disagree? You think Villar is that much better?
Think about how awful he's been.
Villar.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, will we both agree that we don't think he's going to duplicate what he did last year?
Well, I don't think he can because he was so bad the first 6 weeks of the
Right.
season.
So let's say he gets to 75% of what he did last year.
Okay.
That's a top 100 guy.
Well, because of the steals,
Correct.
I guess. Yeah.
Just what bench champions needs, not the guys that steals bases, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I didn't understand it for.
Well,
Ben.
now he can play his 2 lineups. He plays his power lineup, and now he can play his all stolen base lineup. That's perfect.
Hey, he's consistently winning steals every week. How's it working out for him? I just don't understand. I mean, yes, you are winning steals, but there's other categories that you're certainly not
And the
winning.
other thing too, you never know. Maybe he feels like he can actually get more value for Villar than
If he was going to flip him,
Yeah,
I mean,
than he
that's
got for
possible.
Aaron Sanchez. I mean, that is a strategy that bench champions does like to do. He does like to acquire pieces he knows that other people like in hopes of getting something better than what he had to give up.
I just feel like Aaron Sanchez is a legit top of the rotation guy. When
Because
he's healthy.
why?
Well, yes, he has injury issues, but so does the whole freaking league. Like, we were kind of past the point of saying, well, this guy's hurt all the time.
Max
Yes.
Scherzer hasn't missed a start
Well, yeah.
in like 6 years.
Right, but in the first half of the season, when he was the first half of like April, wasn't he with the blister having like he wasn't great, was he? He didn't come out of the gate that
I
good.
bet you he's top 3 starting pitcher rank wise right now.
Well, maybe now, but I'm saying this first 2 or 3 starts, he was
No, he was a stud.
right out of the gate.
Stud.
Okay, if you say so, I have to back it up with statistical.
Well, I don't need to with you. I don't
Analysis.
need to with you because you never look anything up. So all you
Yeah.
gotta do is say it and sound convincing. That's what I've learned.
I guess, but
So you think that's a push? I think that's a robbery for bench champions, but you think it's a push.
well, no matter how you look at it, even last year when he was good, what's his batting average?
It's under 200. That's what I'm saying. If he performs at 75% of what he did last year, he's going to be good. I got to take a drink. I'm choking on my Cheerios.
Yeah, too many Cheerios. And then the other one, now this one I thought was really awful. Montgomery to Murderers Row for Andrew Miller to the Zips. And you're going to say that he's just a holds guy, right?
Andrew Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But he's the best holds guy, probably.
Okay.
No? You don't think so?
There's 50 of them on free agency. I'm sorry, there's hundreds of them on free agency.
See, that's incorrect because
there aren't hundreds of holds guys on free agency.
No. Even if you say there's 50 of them, and there isn't as many who have specific 8-inning roles. They're only going to get that 8th inning hold. There's other guys who might get one hold a week because they get him out in the 7th inning.
He doesn't have a specific role. He pitches whenever there's a high leverage situation.
Right, but he's still the most effective holds guy. I don't think you can argue that.
Can you give me a better definition of most effective? Are you saying statistically? Or is it your opinion that he's the most effective holds guy? Because if he's the most effective, he should have the most holds then, correct?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up.
Of course. He makes statements without actual facts. Go figure.
He's always pitching in the 8th inning, though, for the most part. I mean, yes, sometimes in the 7th, but either way, he is the guy to go to get a hold for Cleveland.
So he should have the most holds then.
He should, but again, a lot of that depends on runs. Like, if you're blowing out teams, you're not going to get it. Or on the flip side, if you're not winning, you don't get holds. So you can't necessarily say that he has the most holds. He probably does not have the most holds.
I got another question for you. If they're blowing people out or getting blown out, why are you throwing Andrew Miller out there then? He's not pitching in those games, so those scenarios are irrelevant.
Well, again, I believe that these things are cyclical, and he will get more holds opportunities in the future if he hasn't yet.
It's a trade that I was like, okay, whatever. Zips is now traded for 2 holds guys, but...
Okay, here's the deal. And here's why I don't like Montgomery. Number one...
He's a Yankee.
No. Number one, this is the 4th starting pitcher that is a Yankee. So right now, Murderers Row has 4 of the 5 starters in the Yankee rotation.
I thought he dropped Sabathia.
Did he just drop Sabathia yesterday?
I think so. I think he dropped Sabathia.
All right. Well, he didn't as of yesterday.
Okay.
But okay.
I think he dropped him.
All right. Because until then, he had 4 of them. Because he had them.
He's a Yankee fan.
Well, I understand that, but even though the Yankees have had a good season, you can't have 4 guys in a rotation. There's no rotation that is that good. This isn't the '96 Braves, okay?
I was going to say, why not?
It's not. So yeah, I thought it was robbery for Zips because I think he gets the best holds guy. And when again, I say if you look at the end of the year, his numbers will be good enough to say, oh, that was a top holds guy.
But that's a different conversation. We're evaluating the trade as of right now. So as of right now, what do you evaluate that trade?
It's still Montgomery is just a 5 or 6 inning pitcher at best. He's nothing special.
Yeah.
He's free agent caliber, wouldn't you say? Don't you think he could be on the free agent list and nobody would say, oh my God, that Montgomery kid needs to be owned. Do you think they would?
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Okay.
So anyway, all right. So I guess we're going into the power rankings. Oh, a different pose. That's fun. And now it's time for the power rankings. But before we get into the power rankings, I would just like to say Andrew Miller is the 29th ranked player currently as we do this video. What do you have to say about that? Does that change your opinion at all?
You obviously hang around bench champions too much. You use statistics when they're relevant to you, and then when someone uses them against you, you say how irrelevant that statistic
19
is.
innings, 26 strikeouts, 8 holds.
So he is the league leader in holds?
No, he is not the league leader in holds. He's about 3 or 4 away.
Okay.
But
better than what I thought.
Yeah. But he has 2 wins, too. That's why he's ranked so high.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey.
Maybe they should make him a starting pitcher.
Wins are hard to come by. No, he'd get hurt if they did that.
Correct.
Okay, so the power rankings. Go ahead, give me your number 6.
I have a shakeup, so mine are going to be
I thought it was going to be the same.
It's going to be a lot different.
A lot different.
I have a returning team to the power rankings, albeit at the bottom, with their impressive, but it's not really impressive victory. So I have Ninja Gaiden, aka 5 Swords, as my number 6 team. Did beat Ben's champions 9-5. Again, getting 2 free points from Ben's champions, so 7-5. But looks like some changes are being made. Some of the rookies are starting to perform. He had another rookie called up, Cubs guy. And if he stays up and plays and produces, I think that's another great bat in his lineup. And interesting team, so I moved him up. And again, I think a lot of what happened this week was we have some separation that's starting to occur.
Yes, we do.
And we'll talk about that then. But that's my number 6, 5 Swords.
Now, 5 Swords actually just outside of my top 6.
Okay.
I would say he'd be officially at 7. I know we usually don't do that, but that's how close he would have been.
Interesting.
My number 6 may surprise you. Pine Tree Lane. And the reason for it...
You did not have him in your power rankings last week?
No, last week he was not in my power rankings. Who fell out was Ben's Champions. I had Ben's Champions in at 6, and I can't keep him in there anymore. So he has fallen out. But yes.
So he lost, and you moved him up. Pine Tree Lane.
Yes.
Ah.
But there's a reason for that.
Good losses, okay.
You have to look at his offense. His offense is really, really good. And I know that his pitching is definitely struggling.
Yes.
But Korea's heating up. Votto's been really good. Trey Turner's still Trey Turner. He's still doing Trey Turner things.
Correct.
All right? And you've got Benintendi in that lineup too. That is a really good lineup.
It seems like Andrew McCutchen kind of has a little bit of a resurgence as well, hitting. Kind of faded a little bit.
He faded a little bit over the last few weeks, but yes. And now, obviously, Zimmerman was hot and wasn't hot now. But, I mean, you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of... I look at that lineup and I say, okay, if I have to pick 2 from the bottom, because that's kind of what you're doing. You have to pick... Because basically, like you said, there's separation. There's a top 4, and then there's everybody else.
Correct.
So if you have to pick 2 of them, I still say this guy, as of right now, belongs in that discussion.
I do not disagree with you. Sort of. As I have Pine Tree Lane.
I didn't think he'd even be in your top 6.
And I'm kind of a hypocrite because I moved him up a spot.
Yeah.
And again, as we've talked about the separation, we basically have 4 teams that are trying to pull away. Mm-hmm. And there's the other 6 that are kind of trying to figure out who they are, what they are. Mm-hmm. So it could be very interesting for the bottom 6.
Yeah.
But I have Pine Tree Lane as my number 5 team for all the reasons you just said. He's your number 6. I moved him up 1 spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you're that high. I'm interested to see who because someone isn't here, so
correct.
I want to see who that is.
All right.
My number 5 is Alaska Glaciers.
So look in the camera. No, hold up your thingy. That's who I dropped out.
So you dropped out Alaska Glaciers. I look at it as yes, he had the really bad pitching staff, but his offense was really hot last week. He didn't have a terrible week. He just ran into a buzzsaw at the time. So I'm still keeping him at number 5.
Yeah, statistically he did have a good week. It was a tough call dropping him out of my top 6. I just question, sometimes you just have bad luck.
Yeah.
And could this be the year that no matter what he does in a matchup, he's always going to have somebody doing a little bit better each time?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but isn't that sort of what tends to happen there? You know what I mean? Because he's always performed very well.
Every week, but I'm saying every week. Every week he plays someone, they're going to do slightly better than him.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going with that.
Yeah, that's true.
So the only thing that stayed the same in my rankings is number 4. Team Jobu. Still getting hotter. However, I do think, again, not to sound like a broken record, from 4 on up, there's going to be a separation. Or at least there's starting to be.
Yeah.
And Team Jobu is also closing the gap between number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1, in my opinion. Still needs pitching. His pitching staff is not good.
Right.
Yes, you can get on ESPN and CBS and look at their to-start starters for the week suggestions and their daily fantasy churner of the day pickups and things like that. You got away with it last year. I am telling you it's not going to work this year. Prove me wrong. I don't think it's going to work this year.
I mean, the only thing is I think he has a better chance of it working this year because of all the injuries. I think because there's so many injuries, I don't think there's pitching staffs out there that can't be beaten. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's not as many aces that are making starts for teams because
Right.
one of their aces is most likely on the DL.
But just remember, when you roll that dice, you're not always going to get an AJ
I
Griffin
know.
where you're going to get a complete game shutout.
I completely understand. I know. My number 4, I'm actually dropping myself. Bear Bashers is
Wow.
my number 4.
Wow.
Because the way I look at it, despite Joe Boo's pitching woes, his team now has hit 300 in 3 consecutive weeks.
That is scary.
I would be surprised if I have a week that my team hits 300 as a team. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's not going out on a limb. I think that's a guaranteed bet.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go though. If you, just like you said, if you think that's a guaranteed bet, then why in the world would I rank him lower than myself? Right?
Because these are team rankings, not
Yeah.
offensive rankings.
I would say right now my pitching's a little bit better, but you can see how bad it was last week because it was pretty bad last week.
That is true.
So I just decided that Joe Boo's hot. I'm going with the hot hand, and he is moving up in my rankings.
I tell you what I'm nervous about in baseball in general. If the pitching has been this bad this early, and the weather's going to get nicer, and that's supposedly when the hitters can actually
Yeah, I know.
hit. I mean, are we seeing the end of aces or the end of 3-point-something ERAs, and everyone in the league is going to have like a 4-point-something ERA?
It's
I mean, it's scary right now.
it's possible. I mean, I think it's just like with launch angles and stuff. I mean, there's more home runs being hit now, and that's part of it.
I almost feel like the pitchers need to change their pitching philosophies because right now they've all been teaching to throw the ball down. Well, that's only helping the swing angle for the uppercutters. I think they should be pitching up now.
No, you're right. You're right because you're going to get more pop-ups out of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
My number 3 team. I did drop this team as well. Number 3 is the a very, very unsatisfactory performance against Zips. Couldn't get anything going, dealing with injuries, and I'm not making excuses. I lost at the end of the day. I lost my matchup. Shouldn't have traded Michael Conforto, and that's going to bite me in the butt all year.
It remains to be seen. Just because he had one good week doesn't mean that he's going to be
He
the
hasn't
guy.
had a good week. He's been hitting that way ever since he's been playing every day.
It's interesting because I did not put Zips in despite the win over you because I feel like you just had a little bit of an offensive week. If you would have had a normal offensive week where you're hitting basically 275 instead of 250, you probably would have won the matchup.
Right, and ironically, I had Zips as my number 7 team. Yes,
Yeah.
that's how far down I dropped Alaska Glaciers.
I
Not a
see
believer.
that.
Not a believer.
Not a believer in Alaska Glaciers. You heard it here first. This guy said it. Even though in the text thread, I'm the mean guy for saying mean things about Alaska Glaciers. He's the guy who says that you're not even in the top 6
this week.
this week. Yeah. All right. Number 2. Wait. Is that right? Number 3.
We're still at
for me
3.
Is Team Joe Boo. I've kind of already discussed that. His offense is super unbelievably so lit right now. So I don't know what else there is to say other than
Well,
he's-
as we said, we have the same top 4. We just have them in different orders.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the Bear Bashers.
yeah,
You won.
I did.
So I kind of gave you the benefit of the doubt because you won. You're still, I'm going to stick with the same phrases, pushing all the right buttons, pulling all the right strings.
Not that week, but yeah.
We'll see how that strategy works out over the long haul of the season. But I have you as number 2.
Yeah. Ironically, I have you as number 2 as well.
Really?
Yes, because again, yes, you lost 8-5, but it wasn't like I said. If your team hits 25 points higher, you're going to win that matchup because the categories were so close. So I didn't really want to fault you for that.
Addison Reed cost me 2 categories on Sunday.
Yeah, there you go.
I
And
would have won saves, and I think I wound up losing whip because of that.
and in order to drop you, I had to say to myself, who has a better team than you? And I don't think anybody else does right now.
Well, yes, your number 1 team has a better team than me.
Well, I meant lower in the
I got you.
rankings.
I got
yes, yes. The number 1, well, I guess we're
So
probably going to agree.
the first time, still not drinking the Kool-Aid that this guy drinks.
But you have the number 1, right?
I have Globo Gym
Yeah.
finally at number 1. because of the roster makeup,
Yeah.
because he actually beat someone. Now, I know Alaska Glaciers is not in my top 6 this week, but they were ranked going into the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to withstand a great offensive week from Alaska Glaciers and still won most of the offensive categories and won pitching categories. Right now, as of right now, Globo Gym's team is the best team in the league.
Yes. I would
I now finally
concur.
I now
with
finally
that.
agree with you for this week.
I would say it is interesting. Again, I don't know. I'm a little bit confused about my team right now and how it's going to be performing. But right now, Globo this week is playing Joe Boo.
Okay?
All right.
So another test.
Right.
Big test for him.
And he hasn't played either of us yet either. You know that.
That is correct.
So,
Which is why I never made him number 1 until this week. Because he
Right.
hasn't played anybody.
Right.
SEC. There's
So,
that SEC thing
I think
again.
it's going to, it basically, it depends on how he, because I think it's like 3 of the next 4 weeks he's playing all of us. That's
Well, it's about
how it
time.
works. Yeah, I know. So we'll, I think that'll be the true test. But yes, I agree with you, and he's making good moves too. I mean, if you think about it, every time we talk about an ad, it's him. It's somebody that he picked up.
Yes.
So I mean, he's improving the team as we progress.
And you know, people don't understand it. It is tough when you made a trade for a guy like Batista. You had high hopes for him. It does take a little bit of being able to swallow your self-pride and say, look, he's not doing it. He's not doing anything for my team, and I'm just going to flat out drop him.
I know.
I mean, that's kind of big steps for Globo Gym. Normally, he's the hoarder of, prospects and DL guys and...
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's easier for him to drop somebody who's 35 than...
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you said it.
I think that sometimes he would get caught up in prospects and what they're going to be, but it was easy for him to just say, okay, Batista is done. And again, I don't think he's done, but I don't think... yes, he's had a hot week, but he'll get hurt again, and then everything will suck. Like, he's not going to...
And other scary thing, lastly, still no Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Someday he'll come back.
I hope not. I don't want him to. Stay on the DL, please.
Yeah,
Please.
really. So I guess that is it, because we don't have a hot topic today, so we've got nothing else.
No hot topics.
No hot topics.
We have one brewing, but
Yeah,
we're gonna let it go.
We're gonna let it go for now, and we'll see how everything shakes up next week. Now you realize we have 6 weeks in the books. There's 21 weeks in the schedule, correct?
That's the way I made it. As I am, for some people that forget, the creator of the league. Yes, there are 21 weeks.
So we are essentially not quite a third of the way, but we are more than a quarter of the way through the season. What do you think about that?
Yes, we are in between 25 and 33% of the season being done.
So I think we're sort of past the point of saying this guy's he's off to a slow start. You're like at 150 at bats almost. I don't think you can continue to say that.
Not when you have Justin Uptons to get all their stats in 1 month. There are guys like that.
And Edwin Encarnacion.
Correct.
Who these guys just go off.
Correct.
Yes.
For 1 month.
I know.
So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely been a very interesting baseball season. And again, as we alluded to, I hope that, yes, we like offense, but pitching is just terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. And honestly, again, because I think just because I have more spare time than everybody else, I'm actually watching more of the games than a lot of you. And I feel like there's a lot of dumb pitching happening where you'll see an 0-2 fastball right down the middle, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I'm seeing more than necessarily offensive prowess. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like like the bats are being great. It's more of the it's just some pitching that just doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I admit, I am not watching games, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
I'm too busy winning at life.
Yes, you are winning at life. That is for sure. Okay. Well, you can win again next week. Next Tuesday. See you later. Bye.